Today I want to talk about first impressions, and I'm talking about everything from the vehicle you show up to at the event, to the appearance of your setup, to the way you're dressed, and even your marketing materials. Now, there are schools of thought out there that say none of this matters. You can show up in a broken down jalopy and your setup can have cables all over the place, but as long as you bring it with performance, it doesn't matter. All bets are off. There's a good argument for that. There's also people out there who feel like that you need to have a nice, clean, new, presentable vehicle when you show up at these events. You need to be dressed in a suit at all times, and your setup should have no exposed cables at all. I think there's a medium somewhere in there that we should be looking at, but let me talk about, first, your marketing materials. Now, I feel like that all of us want to be able to project to our potential clients that we are the best choice for them when choosing a DJ. And that is important. I do feel like that you can go over the top with this. And I'm talking about the ultimate DJ. You have ultimate DJs in your market. You have to. We have at least 2, maybe 3 ultimate DJs. Now, it is impossible to have 3 ultimate DJs, but this is what the marketing materials say. Sometimes it says Milwaukee's favorite DJ or Milwaukee's best DJ. And my concern with that is I feel like when people suggest they are the best, and even when they put on a fantastic performance, if it's not perfect, there may be some disappointment in there somewhere. Now, you can have a DJ who shows up in a not so nice vehicle and doesn't hide every cable and didn't have marketing material that claimed they were the best, yet they put on the same performance that the best DJ in town put on, or something relatively close to it. They're going to be perceived as amazing because it was this under-promise, over-deliver thing, where on the other hand, the ultimate DJ, although they put on a great performance, still the expectations were a little too high because they were suggesting that they were just absolutely amazing, and if there was any flaw at all in that performance, it might reflect negatively on them. Does that make sense to you? Now, as far as vehicles go, yeah, I think you should show up in a presentable vehicle. Back in the old days, when I first started doing this 30 years ago, we were in old rusted out, broken down vans from the old newspaper in town. When they would retire these vans, we would buy them. They were rusted up to the doorknobs. They squeaked. They had mismatched snow tires on them. They were embarrassing to show up with at events. I don't believe in that. I have a 2003 Suburban. It's clean, you know? And when I go to most of my events, I'm driving pretty much the same kind of thing everybody else is driving. When I go to the country club, yeah, there are much nicer vehicles than mine in the parking lot. In fact, mine's probably the oldest and least valuable, but I don't feel like I look out of place. I don't feel like I need to be one of them to show up. It's clean. I wash it, right? It's not dirty. So I think that's okay. I'm doing it in kind of a moderation thing. My setup, I think it looks pretty nice. It's a nice footprint. I don't have big lighting truss things over my head, but I don't hide every cable, you know? That's just not important to me. I do make an effort to make it look as neat and clean as possible, but I don't go over the top with trying to make it look like it's magically receiving power from somewhere. I think people know that you got to plug stuff into the wall to get power, or most of the time you do anyway. So yeah, I'm not so concerned with hiding every single cable. If you look at a band, it's an absolute mess. So I'm doing very well, relatively speaking, as far as appearance goes. But I feel like the most important thing with my setup particularly is that I'm not causing anybody pain or discomfort either mentally or physically. So my light show isn't blinding anybody. It's creating ambience, but there aren't lights shining in people's eyes. I'm not strobing things maybe that might cause somebody mental discomfort for like seizures or something. And my sound system isn't hurting anybody's ears, isn't causing them pain here. People aren't screaming at each other to communicate. We can talk just like this and hear each other anywhere in the room. And there are hot spots on the dance floor and quieter spots in other places in the room for conversations for things like weddings and corporate events, that kind of thing. That's important to me. And, you know, it doesn't have to be expensive stuff. I'm not suggesting that. It doesn't have to be perfectly neat and clean with every cable hidden, but I do feel like that, for me anyway, it just doesn't need to cause anybody any mental or physical discomfort. Performance is incredibly important to me, and that's just how I feel about it. I don't feel like that I'm over promising and under delivering. I feel like that I'm under promising and over delivering. I mean, when people see me walk into a room, I'm limping obviously as a disabled guy. They may not expect much, but I'm neat and clean. My system looks relatively good, and I feel like I'm putting on really good performances, like better than average. Yeah, I don't want to tell you that I'm the best DJ in town, but I want to try to put on the best performance possible at the events that I'm doing. I don't know, that's just how I feel. Let us know how you feel in the comment section. What's important to you? Do you feel like your first impressions are over the top, or do you feel like they're understated? And do you feel like that in the end, they're helping or hurting your ultimate customer satisfaction at the end of the event? That's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Practice and enjoy.